I just hit $70,000 in monthly recurring revenue inside of Grow with Evelyn, which is a beautiful milestone and also a significant net growth in monthly recurring revenue that I attribute to 4 habit changes that I've made. Before I share them with you, I quickly want to take you behind the scenes and break down the numbers for you, because the $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue is the net growth, and actually I've been able to add a lot more monthly recurring revenue. This is just also factoring in the churn that naturally occurs in every membership. So over the past 5 months, I've been able to add over $53,000 in new monthly recurring revenue to my Skool community, which at the current retention rate comes up to a customer lifetime value of $482,000. So here you can see the monthly recurring revenue added, and then the lifetime value that this added to my business. So I started this habit change that is the foundation for the growth in November, and there I added around $12,000 monthly recurring revenue. Then in December, $9,900. In January, $8,800. In February, around $12,000 again, so $11,900. And then in March, $10,100. My ad spend over those 5 months was 81,000 euros. My monthly retention is, like I said, 89%. And this is how I've been able to calculate that customer lifetime value. Obviously, retention can change, right? But as it looks right now, this is what we added. So when we're taking that into consideration, you can see it's a significant return on ad spend, and it's also a significant monthly recurring revenue growth, as well as customer lifetime value. So what led to this growth? Before I jump into the 4 habits, one thing did for sure, and that was focus. I am by far not as focused on this community as I should be. I also run ads for the Skool platform itself, which consumes most of my time these days. And then I also have my AI passion and community and certification, which is the ICF accredited AI in coaching. So those are 2 big passion projects that also consume a lot of my time. I by far not am as focused on Growth Evelyn as I would like to be, but my first call is that you need focus. And these habits that I'm sharing with you now, they also definitely help me to focus with the little time I actually net have for Growth Evelyn. So the first habit is to track your numbers. That was the first change that I made, is I started to track my numbers every single day, and here are the numbers that I tracked, and starting with the most important one down to the ones that were less important. Visitors, aka your traffic to your offer page, I tracked it every single day. My Skool profile activity, so how active I was on Skool, I tracked that every single day, because that shows me how much I am active as a membership owner and as a member. Then my group activity, so how engaged is the group, how alive is the group. Also very, very important. My discovery rank, I thought that this is more important than it actually is, because I get a lot of people directly from the Skool network, and I thought that it's coming from my position in discovery, when in reality most of it is actually coming from search. So this definitely is not going to be as important for me moving forward. Then my members growth, right? So how much net member growth do I have every single day? And then my conversion rate. So those are the numbers that I tracked every single day religiously in the morning. And the order, like I said, this mattered. The traffic directly correlated with my monthly recurring revenue growth and with my sales. So that was the most important number. My North Star KPI to focus on was the traffic. It's not just about the numbers itself though. For the traffic, it's also the traffic quality. User that comes to my page from the Skool network has a much higher conversion rate than, for example, somebody who comes from my ads, and somebody who comes from my ads has a much higher conversion rate than somebody who comes from Instagram organic. So I try to always prioritize the quality traffic sources, right? So there's a quantitative aspect of it, but then there's also the quality. Same with my engagement on the platform. I could just go in and like everything and it would count as an engagement. But if I write a thoughtful answer to a member, or a thoughtful comment in another community where my ideal client hangs out, obviously that is worth so much more. So I did not use any complex dashboard. I just did that in a Google Sheet doc, which became my challenge tracker, which is what I also shared with my members. Once I started to really see the numbers daily, I stopped guessing. I had my focus for the day, and it was also kind of removing a lot of question marks around where I should be spending my time. I should spend my time where it gets those numbers up. And so it really made things very, very simple for me. So that was the first habit. Second habit, I ran ads every single day. And what really happened over the last 5 months, going hard on ads and focusing on adding more ads and trying to increase spend every single day, is that I started to see that the ads really work together. And a part of this is the Andromeda update, of course, that we now have full funnel campaigns, basically all of the creatives that signify a full funnel we have in one campaign now. So obviously they work together. But I think what I really started to see is ads don't just work together in the moment, they also work together over time. So what I started to see is people joined the community, and a lot of them would say, I just kept seeing your ads, and eventually I just, I finally made the jump. So what you also need to know is that every impression layers on the last one, and the first ad might build some awareness, and then the 10th one builds trust, and then there's a new offer, and then suddenly people are like, okay, I finally have to get into the world of this person. I learned that first off, I don't turn off any ads at all anymore. I just let Meta manage it. But I also try to get as much new ad content in as I can. So when I have a nice lifestyle image, I go somewhere for dinner with my husband and my son, and we have a nice picture, I will put that. When we're going down to the elevator and we're going to the park, I'm taking a snapshot in the elevator, and I just have more like lifestyle images that I show. I create new offers that I can turn into ads. I refresh the creatives for my existing offers because the variety matters a lot, and it just adds those aware touch points for people. So they get this feeling that you're everywhere, and eventually you're long enough, top of mind enough, that you reach them in a moment where they are looking for help, and then they say yes. So the ads really, really compound over time, and they also compound the more diverse and the more fresh you can keep them. They were the absolute cheat code and the baseline, and the ads really drove 90% of this growth. And they also made it sustainable to keep growing like this with, like I shared with you, all of the other things that I have going on. Now, the third habit was that I have been working on new offers and trainings and cookies. If you watched my previous video around why you should not sell your Skool community, but the things inside your Skool community, you'll know exactly what I talk about. But the principle is clear. And this also pays into the ad diversity. I started to build things even more than I have focused on, can I advertise that directly? Is this something when my members need help, can I package the solution so attractively that it's so clear what it does and it's so helpful what it does that I can directly run cold traffic to it? So every single piece I thought about, this is an offer into my world. Like even the YouTube videos that I make now, you see now I always do it with these artifacts because I'm linking these artifacts and they're offers in my world. So everything I do becomes an offer, an invitation into my world, and a standalone solution in itself. If you watch this video, you're going to walk away knowing there are 4 habits that you should build in your life, and it's a complete closed off thing. Same with all of the things that go into your community. Ideally, as much as possible, closed off things that we can put out there and that can work like little arms into our membership. So I focus on engaging in the group, like I told you, helping people. Then I see where they get stuck, and I create the new offers around it. And a new offer can be a YouTube video, a checklist, a cheat sheet, something I give away for free as well. I even have ads where I'm like, hey, comment below, you get this free thing. By the way, this is from my community, and if you want to learn XYZ, come into my community. So everything I do for others becomes an invitation, becomes an offer into my world. Now, one of the smartest things that I did was I created a traffic challenge to hold myself accountable around driving traffic. And now you might say, oh, this only works because you have a marketing community. But if you, for example, have a fitness community, you can create a challenge where you for yourself document the habit changes that you want to make, and it becomes this shared journey. And this can be for anything, right? If you are an artist and you want to make more art, or you want to learn a new style, or you want to get, featured in an exhibition, there's so many ways in which you can just create a challenge out of the ambition that you want to have, or that you have anyway, and turn that into the shared journey. Then creating content and creating those solutions that are aligned and that naturally lead back into the work that you do inside the community becomes so seamless, right? It solves itself because you just walking that path that you wanted to walk anyway, and you can take people along And as they walk along you, they have problems that you already solved, and those become the invitations in your world. And so I started to do that every single day and just focus on aligning that journey, which naturally happens when you walk towards that version of yourself that you want to become anyway, and you make that a shared journey as a challenge or mini course or workshop in your community, and then you add those pieces that are missing, that you only see are missing because you're helping others. So the fourth habit is that I started to promote first thing in the morning. I moved all of the promotion and all of the tracking to the first thing in the morning, and that changed everything. So I started my day by getting basically the promotional activities, all of the things that I have to do to drive the numbers up, out of the way. And so I didn't have to push it towards the end of the day, because I did that very much in the beginning. And then the day just became very heavy, very long, very panicky, it's always in the back of mind. Getting it out of the way just meant that I also could focus on other things for the rest of the day. And so I had no zero days. So I was also focused on making it sustainable for myself. So for example, not beating myself up if I had, low profile activity, just focusing on having enough. So I maintain my flame, my 10 daily activities, focusing on doing enough so my ads are running, but also if I knew that they will be loaded with other responsibilities and will be hard, not kind of beat myself up if I couldn't do it, but then just when there was space and when it was easy, then fully lean in. So I tried to really remove all of the guilt around it and embrace the slow days as well, as long as I didn't do any 0 days. So I also asked myself, what's the most minimum viable version of the post that I can make? What's the smallest version of this that I can do? And I did that. So I highly encourage to front load, and then also ask yourself, what's the smallest thing I can do for that? And just make sure that you have no 0 days in there, just not to lose the momentum. And that's one of the key things as well. All of the things that you do through these habits as well, what they do is they give you momentum, and with that they also signal momentum for people on the outside. And people want to be part of communities and of people who have a journey that has a lot of momentum, and it just becomes this upward spiral. And this is exactly what these habits have done for me. I hope you found this helpful, and I see you in another video.